The most important factor when analyzing mortgage note investments is whether or not a lien is secured or unsecured. So we're going to dig in today, starting with why secured status is the number one price factor. So let's understand what secured versus unsecured even means. When we talk about unsecured debt, we can be referring to things like credit cards, where the bank doesn't have any ability to foreclose on your home if you don't pay your credit card bill. However, a mortgage is secured lien against your property. If you don't pay back your mortgage, the bank can enforce their lien and take back the property through foreclosure. Now, I want to make this very clear right off the bat. As note investors, our goal is not to take borrowers' homes. When we buy non-performing mortgage notes, our goal is to help a borrower go from a non-performing defaulted status into a current status through the modification process or some other resolution that can help them in their financial situation. However, mortgages can become unsecured. So what does it take to cause a lien that was previously secured to real estate to become unsecured? And really, the event that can create this unsecured status is going to be another stakeholder in the property taking back the property through a foreclosure or a tax sale. So if a borrower doesn't pay their property taxes, for example, the government can come in and sell the tax deed or tax certificate to an investor, and then that investor can go through the process to take back the property from them if the taxes are not paid. Same thing if you buy a second position loan and the senior mortgage, the first position in front of you, is not paid. The bank who holds the debt on the first position can also pursue the foreclosure process, take back the property, and essentially leave your second position lien as an unsecured debt. So how do we find out if a lien is still secured? Well, there's a pretty simple way, but there are some caveats. And essentially what you need to do when you're analyzing a mortgage note, the first thing I always check is whether or not the borrower of the loan currently owns the property. I'll say that again because it's very, very important. Looking at the public records, you want to make sure that the property address is owned by the borrower on the spreadsheet of all of the assets that you're analyzing. So this is very, very important because if you find on the public records, when you go to the county's public recorder and you see that that property is no longer owned by your borrower, then you've got a red flag there that this lien might no longer be secured. So we talked about where and how to document your findings in our last video, fast and easy title research. So definitely check that out to see how I set up my spreadsheet when I do this research, as well as a little bit more detail actually looking at the county recorder's websites so you can see how to search across the country at any county's public records or assessors or tax collectors data. Now, finally, I want to talk about whether or not you need more research or after doing this initial scrub, whether or not you're good to go. Now, the first thing first is if the borrower name matches the property owner name, you can be pretty confident that the lien is secured. Now, it is possible that the lien may have been released, but you will see that on public records as a satisfaction or a lien release. You open that document up and you actually compare the origination dates and the amounts in the bank to compare that against the lien that you're looking to potentially purchase. If it has been released, it is no longer secured, and that should not be a purchase that you're going to make. And in fact, the seller of that loan should be notified because that loan may not be collectible at all anymore. However, there is a little bit more research that you need to do if you find in the public records that the borrower no longer owns the home, but when you dig a little bit deeper, the transfer to the current owner of the home was subject to the mortgage. Now, this is really important to understand because when a property is sold from one owner to another owner, generally it goes through a process which includes a warranty deed and title insurance. So I'm sure if you've purchased a home before, you know you go to the settlement table and they've got title insurance ordered and you sign, your seller signs the warranty deed transferring the property over to you, and the title company essentially says there are no liens or anything to surprise you on this property. We're transferring title free and clear. Whereas a quitclaim deed can transfer a title subject to all of the liens, judgments, and other things that are attached to a property. So if you find when you're doing this research into public records that a transfer has been made of the property through a quitclaim deed, not a warranty deed, then you can actually pursue the current owner of the property on the previous owner's mortgage because it is still a secured lien. So this is the crash course in secured versus unsecured, but I want to definitely let you know to check out the fast and free title research for a little bit more detail on how to make this process work for you. And until next time, I'll be here sharing everything I know about the secondary mortgage market.